House of Assembly awaits nominees as President Tinubu sent list to DSS, EFCC and others. Former Nigerian President congratulates President Tinubu on election as ECOWAS chairman. Zamfara State Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps parades 27 suspected thieves. On business, Nigeria's capital importation drops to $1.13 billion. Lagos top destination list. And on the international scene, 6 killed in China kindergarten attack. And in sport, PSG signed Lucas Hernandez from Bayern Munich. Hello, welcome to Standard Voice Television News Channel. I'm Svtv. Expectations on the ministerial list has heightened as President Bola Tinubu clocks over 40 days in office. According to the law, President Tinubu is required to name his cabinet within 60 days after taking the oath of office on May 29 and transmit it to the Senate for confirmation. With less than 18 days to submit his cabinet list to the National Assembly, as recommended by the Constitution, lawmakers and other Nigerians are anxiously waiting for the list of ministers who would help to deliver the President's renewed hope agenda. Multiple NAS sources said the Federal Parliament was awaiting Tinubu's ministerial list, with some experiencing worry over the delay. Meanwhile, newsmen gathered that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Department of State Services and some security agencies were on the verge of completing their mandatory checks on the list. Former President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated President Bola Tinubu on his emergence as the chairman of the Authority of Head of State and Government of the Economic Community of West African States. Mr. Buhari said he was elated to hear the news, according to a statement by his media aide Garba Shehu, which was made available to Channels Television on Monday. The president said West Africa have entrusted their new leaders to an enormous responsibility, and it will be their task as citizens to support him and to not let him down. Mr. Tinubu emerged as the new ECOWAS chairman at the 63rd ordinary session of the regional bloc held on Sunday in Bissau, the capital of Guinea-Bissau. President Buhari prayed Almighty would help Tinubu's tenure as chairman of the Authority of Head of State and Government see to the restoration of ECOWAS as the bastion of democracy, good governance, and a leader in fighting terrorism and climate change on the continent. The Nigerian Hajj Commission of Nigeria said it has so far satisfied with the airlift of Nigerian pilgrims from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia back to Nigeria after successfully performing this year's Hajj. Speaking on the phone from Jeddah with a member national media team, the head of the NAHCOM reception team at the King Abdulaziz International Airport, Jeddah, Alhaji Muhammad Bakari Giri, said over 9,000 pilgrims have since the commencement of the airlift been flown back to Nigeria in about 24 flights. He stated that so far there was no any delay or hitches in checking in departing pilgrims back to Nigeria on arrival at the airport, as it has been NAHCOM's policy that pilgrims will not start moving to the airport from Mecca until their flight was confirmed. Alhaji Bakari Giri also expressed satisfaction with the conduct and behavior of the pilgrims so far and their compliance with the 8 kilograms hand luggage, except for some few stubborn ones who he said would hardly be rolled out in operations like this. The Department of State Services has debunked reports that Senator Abdulaziz Yari was invited for questioning over his alleged refusal to pick President Bola Tinubu's telephone call ahead of election for Senate President. Reacting to what he described as some misleading narratives, the DSS spokesman Peter Afunanya, in a statement on Sunday, addressed the Yari saga. The DSS president said it is pity, if not laughable, to report that Yari was invited for refusing to pick up president call, adding that it was the highest of junk journalism. Afunanya said Senator Abdulaziz Yari knew why he was invited to the DSS headquarters. Mr. Afolayan's statement, which said the attention of the Department of State Service has been drawn to false report by sections of the online media, particularly Sahara Reporters, People's Gazette and Jackson Ude. He said the report variously and wrongfully fed the public with misleading narrative and accusation against the service. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps Zamfara State has paraded 27 suspected thieves involved in illicit trade of unauthorized fertilizer input in Zamfara State. SC Oko Oche, Zamfara State Command Public Relations Officer, in a statement said the suspects were paraded on Friday. He noted that the 22 male suspect with dangerous hairstyle who belonged to some criminal gangs that specialize in phone snatching and other criminal activities were arrested by the operatives of the Corps during routine patrol in Gusau Metropolis. The suspect, according to him, were arrested in Tudunwada and other dangerous areas of the metropolitan airmark as black spot in Gusau. According to the statement, the suspect were arrested with dangerous weapons such as knives and cable meant to strangle their victims. He said 3 girls within the age bracket of 20 years were also arrested at about 11:30 p.m. with substances suspected to be intoxicant along Top Town Hotel along Bypass Road in the capital, Gusau City. He said the state commandant Sani Mustafa assured the public of the readiness of the Corps to prosecute the miscreants and that one of the suspects was also arrested with a military uniform which he uses for the harassment of his victims. At least 30 people who were kidnapped by bandits have been reported rescued in Danko Wasagu area of Kebbi State. The report said those who were rescued came from Kontagora in Niger State, Damri, Kaba and Kajiji in Zamfara State and Sokoto State respectively, and Bena in Kebbi State. Newsmen reported that the chairman of Danko Wasagu local government area, Alhaji Hussaini Aliyu Bena, told newsmen about the report of the rescue of the people. He also praised the state government for the way it works with the security forces to give them support to see that the forest bandits who have plunged the state and its neighbors are defeated, as well as freeing those who have been kidnapped. The governor of Plateau State, Governor Caleb Mutfwang, has announced a 24-hour traffic curfew in the Mongo local government area of the state, following attacks that have caused loss of lives and properties in the area. The conflict between some tribes in the area have also separated many people from their homes and caused conflict between the Fulani and the Mufagu tribes. The leader of the Fulani youth of Miyetti Allah in the Mongo region, Saidu Jauro, told newsmen that the Mongo people attacked Fulani houses and burned others, saying that 18 people were killed in Amson town. However, one of the Mufagu tribe accused of carrying out the attack said none of any members of the Mufagu tribe attacked the Fulanis. Equity First Fund have demonstrated superior performance compared to fixed income-based fund within Nigeria's thriving mono-fund industry valued at 1.87 trillion naira. Based on data analysis by Nairametrics, a significant number of equity-based funds achieved returns that surpassed the inflation rate during the first half of the year. Those funds represented a collective investment scheme that primarily target Nigeria's stock market. The Security and Exchange Commission, responsible for monitoring and reporting to the manual fund market, identifies 134 such funds currently operating in the country. Equity-based fund, among those funds, 16 are categorized as equity-based, boosting a combined net asset valued at 20.5 billion naira. Impressively, all of those funds recorded double-digit year-to-date return. And on business, Lagos State attracts the highest capital importation by state in the first quarter of the year 2023, as Nigeria's total capital importation stood at $1.13 billion in the same quarter. The total capital importation depreciated by 28% year-on-year compared to the $1.57 billion reported in first quarter last year. Although on month basis, the total capital importation increased by 6.78% against the $1.06 million recorded in the fourth quarter of 2022. The data was obtained from the National Bureau of Statistics in a report titled Nigeria's Capital Importation covering the first quarter. Commenting on the investment type, the NBS said the largest capital importation during the period was received from portfolio investment, which accounted for 57.32%, which is $649.28 million of capital import of total capital imported in first quarter of 2023. It was followed by other investment with 38.31%, which is $434.76 million. The foreign direct investment with 4.20%, which is $57.60 million. And on the international scene,
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Six people were on Monday killed and one wounded in a kindergarten stabbing in southern China, Shandong province, according to a spokesman of the city government in Lianjiang, where the incident took place. The victims included one teacher, two parents, and three students. She did not offer details about the identities or age of the victims, nor about the weapon used in the attack. However, she said one of the suspects has been arrested. A local police said in a statement that the suspect was a 25-year-old male whose surname was identified as Wu, adding that it was an international assault. Police said they are now trying to verify the identities of the victims. While guns are strictly controlled, China has seen a spate of mass stabbing in recent years. Violent crimes has been on the rise as the economy has grown in the recent decade. Of the gap between rich and poor has widened rapidly. Report from South Africa said outbreak of cholera has killed almost 50 people. Health authorities in the country have warned residents of the Gauteng province in the country to be careful about using water they drink. Community groups in the province have urged the government to step up effort to improve and provide clean drinking water. Most of the deaths in the past 6 weeks have occurred in Hammanskal, where residents say they have been struggling for weeks to get clean water. But they are preventing the sudden outbreak of the disease across the country. The tap water that is available is not clean in many areas where people are forced to rely on water trucks provided by the government. Cholera, which is spread by contaminated food and water, causes diarrhea and vomiting and can kill within hours if not treated immediately. And on sports, Paris Saint-Germain has signed the 27-year-old defender Lucas Hernandez from Bayern Munich for €34 million. The player, who won the World Cup in 2018 with France, won 3 trophies with Bayern in the 2029-2022 season, his first season in the club. After Hernandez won the league and 2 cups, he helped the team led by Hansi Flick to beat PSG and win the European Championship. Hernandez, who has played 107 times of the Bundesliga champions and scored 2 goals, have signed a 5-year deal. That has been the news from Standard Voice Television. To end the news, here's a recap of the major headlines. House of Assembly awaits nominees as President Tinubu sent list to DSS, EFCC and others. Former Nigerian President congratulates President Tinubu on election as ECOWAS chairman. Zamfara State Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps parades 27 suspected thieves. On business, Nigeria's capital importation drops to $1.13 billion. Lagos top destination list. And on the international scene, 6 killed in China kindergarten attack. And on sport, PSG signed Lucas Hernandez from Bayern Munich. That's the news. Thanks for watching. I'm Fozi Ibrahim. Do have a nice day.